We're back. Don't know what to say. Don't know what you saw. I know what I saw, and maybe I could just walk you through it. We're gonna go for a little walk here as soon as I can confirm that we're back live. My garage door open. Something's happening. Okay, Jody's back. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a little walk here. I'm gonna set the speed to normal. Okay. All right, it's all good. Don't know what you've seen so far. Clearly didn't work as planned. That's all right. That's how we do things around here. Welcome in Condensed Reality. For the most part, the wrenching portion is complete. I don't know what happened with the stream. I got Wi-Fi and my data going in order to get this quality YouTube programming out to you. No, I'm just going to grab a piston from over here rather than search through boxes. Pretty sure there was one right up here. Yes. All right. Grab a little pin here just to demonstrate what's happening. Or what I've discovered that I think is wrong with the tractor. Look about the sun. It's very cloudy all day, and now the sun is just blazing, which is all right. Let's go check the thermometer here. It's been a beautiful summer here. So we're at 20 degrees, which is 20 degrees centigrade, which is like 70 American degrees. 70 Yankees. Or 70 French fries. What do you measure degrees? Football fields? It's always so confusing here, your temperatures. Just get on the metric bus and be done with it. I mean, we're mostly non-metric here anyway. TR Gaming, welcome in. Leah, welcome in. Rocking the hat. Let's get. Oh, I need the hat for the shade. Sweating like a horse here already. My fire pit is not in the shade. And this is where my fireside studio. So get some coals going. See if I throw a burger or something on the grill later on. Oh yeah, I gotta get the chat box up to 200. Here we go, zoom in. I can read what you guys are saying. Where'd you go? Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm from Snow, Mexico. Manitoba, Canada. The 51st state. Isn't there 53 states already? We suck at geometry up here, so we don't know. You're from India. Okay. You want to buy a tractor? Yeah, here's what we need, the green paint. There you go. 130 grand for a 25-year-old tractor, I'm sure. All right, so there. That's some of my visuals up here. Put this down here. I ran out of Dr. Pepper the other day, so I just went and grabbed a case, and they're chilling in the fridge. Welcome in, Mr. Osgood. Good to see you, good to see you. Got my coffee waiting for me. Gonna spark up a fire, and then we'll talk tractors, and then we'll talk rock and roll. Yeah, baby. Okay, let's see if we get smoked out, I might have to move. All right, that should go. That should be perfect. Very calm day. Expecting some windiness later this week. Some bad weather. But Brandon Mitchell, welcome in. Larata, cheers. So I'll lift the glass. Get a little bit more organized. Whoo, that sun is just like right there. Just like right in my eyeballs. All right, first things first. Justin Garza, Larata, baby. Everyone, welcome to Larata Corporation. A Dr. Pepper toast. Hey, Jaxie Times. So on the last stream we were talking, well, no, was that yesterday or the day before? We were talking about doing shorts. That was Condensed Realities advice. Do a short and then put hashtags on. I'm not organized enough to do the hashtags yet, but I'm just curious how shorts are working. That live stream I did yesterday morning or whenever that was, that actually got a pretty healthy response. So maybe Condensed Reality is on something here. A Dr. Pepper toast to a bountiful harvest, yes. How much do cigarettes cost in Canada? Well, in converting to American dollars, or there's a couple ways to answer that. They're probably comparative, dollar to dollar. So whatever you're paying in the States, that's what they are here. Like on Bow Stream a few weeks ago, Henry was looking for smokes, a carton of smokes that he could trade for crack or whatever it was. And it was like a 150 or whatever a carton. It's about the same here. So if you buy an individual pack, it's somewhere around 25 bucks. But if you were to buy it in American dollars, it'd be like 12 bucks or something. Hey, Lynn Selkirk. But these, they sell up here. All our smokes are branded the same. Like you're not allowed to have a logo. It's all just plain packaging with warnings all over them. But these are made by the natives. What do you call them? Indian smokes or whatever. But I guess the First Nations people, because they are a nation within a nation of Canada, they have some license or ability to manufacture and sell tobacco duty-free. And so when you buy these, 19 bucks for 2 packs, those 20 packs or 25. These are 25 in a pack. They also sell 20 packs here. So you get 8 25s in a carton, 400 smokes. But these, it's like 30, I'm getting them for $30 a carton. So it's less than $4 a pack. The trouble is there's a limited variety of tobacco blends. So these are called Canadian Premium Special. There's also Canadian Lights that I found that are smokable. Some of them I just can't smoke. So I can smoke these $3 and $75 cigarettes, no problem. $3.75. Brain stopped working a while ago. And like this is the same cost as I started smoking when I was like 14 or 15, like $3.50 a pack back in 1986 or 85. So at this price, you can't afford not to smoke. It's legal to grow 100 tobacco plants in New York. One plant will yield about a carton. Cool. I'm able to grow tobacco here. It's not the best quality. It doesn't grow very tall, but I can grow it up here. Neighbor back in the Big Shitty, he was this old guy. He was like in his 80s, and that was the only thing he grew in his garden. He had some strawberry plants that just came back year after year. He had rhubarb that just came back year after year, and he had tobacco. So he called it Paraguayan spinach. I guess he didn't want the feds coming after him or something. The ATF. But yeah, getting back to the Massey. Don't know what happened with the live wrenching, but I saw what I wanted to see. Actually, I'll go fetch those bearings just so you can have a look and see what I saw. So I don't know at what point the live stream cut out. Maybe when it uploads, you'll be able to see what I was doing. But I pulled the connecting rod bearings off, and they don't look nasty. They're worn, but not excessively. Those can be cleaned up a bit. I was expecting carnage. So the other day I took off piston 1 and 4 bearings off the bottom of the connecting rod, and that's the way it sits is there's the bottom cap, the bearing, and then the bearing on top, and then the connecting rod which goes up to the piston. And so I've got a piston from a small engine here and just a hinge pin to simulate the wrist pin, which I suspect is worn because I was shaking the connecting rod up and down after I took the bearings off, and there was a little clack, 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 clack. And when the engine is running, it's not a clack, it's a whack. You just hear this knock, 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 knock. So I'm not thinking all 4 cylinders are bad, but none of them seemed that much worse than any of the others. So, I mean, the way this worked, like I thought one of these bearings would have been just completely chowdered, because when the spark plug fires and the power stroke comes down the top of the piston, if this bearing surface was all worn away or gone, then the crankshaft would be rattling around inside between the bearings, causing that knock. But these were pretty tight. I didn't find any play between the connecting rod bearings and the crankshaft. And the crankshaft journal, where these sit and ride, had some minor scratches, but nothing terrible. So what I'm guessing, so if this is the bottom of the connecting rod, and you got the crankshaft would sit in this void here, and then let's say this is the connecting rod. So this is going up and down, you know, every 4 strokes is a power stroke. So on the power stroke, what's happening is you're pushing the piston up, and then the neighboring cylinders, like if there's play in this area here, which I suspect, this pin we're calling the wrist pin, and then there's a bushing that the wrist pin sits in. I think the bushing is worn, so that as the piston is going up and down, as it wants to go down, it drags, and that's where that knocking is coming, just on the various power strokes, the different pressures, because this bushing is taking a lot of pressure. That's where all the, like, this connecting rod is swaying from side to side as the engine is running, as it's going up and down, and so that's gonna all get wallered out. So this is from I think this is from a quad. So the pistons on that thing are probably around this wide. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna slap it back together, oil it up. I'm gonna throw a little bit of thicker oil in there, and then that machine is gonna go to auction, and I'll just let the auctioneer know, like, it's got a knock, it runs, but I'm not gonna fix it, because it's just it's not worth my time. I'll just sell it as is running. The atoms in your body are as old as the universe. Ooh. Let's just say hi to people wandering in here. Hi, Rianne. You subbed. Well, excellent. What's the matter? You got lost on the way? I saw he was in the last stream. Somebody, or did he come back? He'll be back. He always comes back. On the pot with the runs. Okay, well, I would check your water or check your coffee, if that's the case. This is McDonald's Original Blend, brewed fresh. So yeah, that's the plan with the tractor. I actually had an auctioneer stop by just before we went live. So yeah, the Dr. Pepper's still chilling in the fridge, so I had to run to town, grab a Slurpee. Oh yeah, the auctioneer came, then I went, grabbed my case of Dr. Pepper and a Slurpee. And let me just fix the fire here. It's a sorry ass looking fire. Sorry indeed. Maybe I'll have a burger yet. New Dick Bag Patrol. Ooh, he's talking some real wild stuff. And cigarette went up. Yeah, auctioneer stopped by, and I think what the plan is, he's got a guy that can haul all my stuff to his yard. It's about 15 miles away. And then he'll do a live auction out of his yard. So it'll cost me a little bit of money to get all my stuff, crap, junk, shit, what do you want to call it? All my possessions, all my prized possessions, transported from the Empire of Dirt over to the auction block there. He's hoping to do a live auction here, but he can't do it before the 20th of September. And possession date on this place, we're settling on the 15th of September. So I can't really be having auctions when I don't have the place anymore. So that's where we're at. And so old Betsy, yeah, we're just gonna slap her together, get her running, get her to the auction yard along with everything else, and see what we get for all this stuff. The auctioneer said you got a lot of good stuff, and people are looking for this kind of stuff. So there you have it. That's the time of that. Hello, Alariza. I live in Najifabad, Iran. I actually had a roommate from Iran last time I was in university. Very interesting fellow. He was taking a PhD program in linguistics, or was trying to get into the PhD program. He was still in his postgraduate. They call it a master's degree here. I don't know what they call it in the States. Okay, gotta hit the firewood a little more. Yeah, I was back at the University of Manitoba in 2010, and lots of Iranian students there. And they were all in engineering, like 90 plus percent of them. But all in the sciences and engineering. And yeah, it was cool. So welcome in from Iran. Welcome in, Tanya. So I didn't make fire, I made smoke. Get smoked out here. Grandpa Jenkins. Who is this? Prasis? Prassix? I'm gonna make the print even bigger, I can't. It's so bright out here. Prassix. Interesting handle. Grandpa Jenkins. Oh, and I'm on chat. Top chat is like worse than coronavirus. Here, let's get on all messages. There we go, live chat. Get off top chat. Whoever's on top chat, just stop. Go on all chat or live chat. There we go. Still smoking. So we'll let the smoke die down. And then we could get to the rock and roll portion of this double feature extravaganza. Back up. I'm gonna find a spot where the sun is just not blasting me. No more drawing board, Tanya. We're just gonna button her up and ship it. It's all good. I'm not spending much more time on that thing. I gotta fix the tire on it too. Our valve stem took a hit. I don't know if it was from a lawnmower or a weed whacker. A brand new tire and inner tube that I just bought last year. Well, the tire's still good, but the inner tube won't hold air. So there you go. A little bit more work to do. But yeah, it was good talking to the auctioneer. It gives me hope that you guys seeing anything but smoke? We'll get this place cleaned out, so that can start happening pretty quickly. Like even tomorrow, the guy is probably available. He was trying to call while I was live, so I'll have to give him a call back after this. Let's see what he says. But I'm excited about that. I would have loved to have had a live auction, just have people showing up here. Like back in the day, that was the community thing. You know, whether it was a retirement auction or if there was a death in the family, you know, the whole community would show up, spend their money to help the family out. And, you know, I'm not too connected with the community out here, but if any of you are into the auction scene, many equipment auctions and farm auctions, consignments of any kind, whether it's collectibles, it's all online auction, and the live bidding is all just done electronically. So there's the days of the live in-person auction where it was a community event. You know, you'd have food trucks and vendors and lemonade stands, and maybe do a pig roast or something, and that really is something, you know, was starting to wane around 10 years ago, and then with coronavirus, that it went completely online. You didn't have any in-person auctions, and many of the auction houses just didn't go back. They just stuck with the online. I can see their reasoning. It's a lot easier, but I think you make more money with in-person auctions. People are excited to be there. Like it's an event. And so I thought it'd be really cool to have it here, but just the timing didn't work out. But the auctioneer has an auction yard, and he figures with the items I have, and he thinks he can get, you know, 100, 150 bidders out. That's what you need. Lots of people bidding on lots of items. And so I'm happy about that. That's supposed to, you know, from what we were talking, we were going to be able to do that for September 20th. And I'll be out of here by then, so it doesn't matter. Whatever it sells for, that's what I get. And he takes his commission. And it's 25% of the gross. And there you go, Bob's your auntie. Am I still here? Are we still alive? Yeah, I can see me. Okay. Where's the chat? Where did the chat happen? 7:56 Eastern. Huh? Oh, I got you. Oh, that's what I got to do. There we go. Still live. Still live. Okay, good to see you all. Yeah, so where are we at? Auction. Gotta get my sorry ass out of here. Smoked out. Oh man. I think we're gonna move. Okay. Hold on to your drinks. There you go. Sit on the other side of the fire. Everybody still here? Okay. Cats are whining for no reason other than They want me to believe they're starving to death, which they aren't. I gotta move everything. It's better than sitting in the smoke. All right, the album reveal is imminent. Let's do this. All right, we're back. That's better. I can see what's going on with the fire too. So yeah, a week ago I placed some bids on a lot of vinyl at an auction house to the north of us here. And I've never purchased, or I've never won a lot when it comes to music at the auctions. And you're buying it sight unseen, you don't know what you're getting. All you see is the picture, right? A garbage culprit. It's an interesting handle. Like your beard, does it tickle your boyfriend when you go down him? Ah, ah, ah. Welcome in haters, lovers, everybody alike. So I take it that cup is not heading to the auction lot. It's great. Well, these cups stay with me. So. All right, so yeah, no homo here. Garbage culprit. Whose sock account is that? Anybody? Anybody? Any guesses? Any wild guesses out there? And then on Marketplace, I saw an ad, 4 CDs for 25 bucks. And they were by a group of recording artists that I had featured on this channel earlier on in the channel, on my Standing on the Shoulders of Giants playlist. I think it's also on the Music Mentality playlist. And so the seller, they had some other CDs. So they gave me a price on 7 CDs, I think for 40 bucks. So we'll go through these CDs, which I picked up first, and then we'll get to the vinyl. So the first find was Point of Entry by Judas Priest. This one is, it says 1981. I'm actually not familiar at all with this album, but I figured I'd give it a try for the price she was offering, because I had seen this album. I didn't even realize this was a Judas Priest album. All I could see was the pictures, and this album art actually I think was only released in Canada. So if you don't recognize this, I had to go on Wikipedia and look up Judas Priest albums, and this was an alternate album art to the various other releases, whether UK or the American releases. But this is the one I saw, Defenders of the Faith, and she said, "Do you want both Judas Priest?" So I said, which one? And so I looked this up. I said, yeah, I'll take both. So those were part of the package. And then I have in my filthy little hands Queen's Greatest Hits. I've been looking for this one for a while. I've got the blue one, the navy one, on CD, I think. Maybe cassette, I don't know. But it was these ones I originally saw. So she was offering up Destroyer, Love Gun, Rock and Roll Over, and Dynasty for 25 bucks. So I said, sold. So that was my CD haul from last week. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Those are titles I've been looking for. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back and replace all my Kiss collection on vinyl. I want to So just bear with me a few more minutes, a couple more cigarettes. We'll call it a live event done and dusted. So the lot I was bidding on, there was 12 albums. Again, sight unseen. I could see the album covers, but I couldn't see the condition of the vinyl or anything. And I picked them up yesterday, and I haven't looked at them other than the covers. So we're gonna look at them together, see whether I got a good deal or not. I think I did. So we'll start. Okay, there was a couple of titles that I really wanted, but then there were 10 other albums that's like, okay. But this was one, the Hollies, Best of the Hollies. The hits of the Hollies. I don't know anything about the Hollies. Let's have a look at the condition together. It's a little dusty, but others looks very nice. Well, could use a cleaning, but I don't see any scratches of any kind. So if anybody knows anything about the Hollies, feel free to comment or stick your remarks in the chat. Move on to album number 2, 60s classic, yeah. Let's get these CDs out of the way so I have room. Knocking shit over. So another album that ended up in my grubby little hands is Pat Benatar. This one is called In the Heat of the Night. So this one's got Heartbreaker, the hit. I don't know if I recognize any of the other songs here, to be honest. I like Pat Benatar back in the day, back in the 80s, recording artist extraordinaire. Let's see. Yeah, some light surface scratching, but I think that's so minor. Fingerprints, not mine, but a little bit of dust, so that's a good one. Saw her live, okay, cool. Hit me with your, not on this album. So okay, so that's 2 for 2. We got another 70s, 80s act, The Cars. sun is blazing in my face. I can't see what you guys are seeing. So this is, is this their debut? Looks a little rough. Well, this one's got hits on it. Good times roll, my best friend's girl, just what I needed. I'm in touch with your world. Don't just stop. You're all I've got tonight. Bye bye love. Moving in stereo, all mixed up. So there's some tracks on there I can listen to. Thank you, Chris. He wrote his name on the album covers for your fine collection. This, yeah, it's a little bit of album art here. A little bit of info on the recording. Very nice condition. Just minor surface scratches. So that's 3 for 3 goodies. Gooders. Uh-oh, it's magic. Uh-oh, it's Sasquatch. Okay, that one doesn't want to go back in nice. Great album for a garage band. Okay, next one is not a garage band, but I love this album cover. This is a really cool album art from the 70s, late 60s. So we got Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young with Dallas Taylor and Greg Reeves. So it's kind of a 1800 style photograph, and this is like a sticker on top of a old-timey, real heavy cardboard album cover. And the old gatefold. Lots of album art here. Wonder if they were rolling their joints in here. Yeah, there's a little bit of residue here. Oh no, those are bugs. Hopefully not bed bugs. No, that looks, what is that fluff? Whatever, I'm sure they weren't rolling joints in here. Pass on that album, got the CD. Yeah, I don't know much about Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young. I was never a Neil Young fan. He always I can't stand his voice. He always came across as just this pompous, pretentious prick. Maybe he's perfectly fine, but a little bit of scratching on there. But nothing that looks like it's going to make it skip. It's just not going to sound beautiful. But it's a heavy vinyl. Heavy. Yeah, what's the year on this son of a gun? I don't say on the label. Yes? No? Doesn't say on the label. Tanya's got to dip out. See you later, Tanya. Thanks for coming. All right, I can't pinpoint a date on here. So we've got Carry On, Teach Your Children, Almost Cut My Hair, Helpless, Woodstock, Deja Vu, Our House, 4+20, Country Girl, Everybody I Love You. Oh, it's on the spine. No, I don't see a release date on this. Copyright or nothing. Well, that's a mystery as to what. We'll take Dad's word for it. Woodstock era, so late 60s. Okay, just as a matter of preference, we'll of the bands I recognize and like. So here we got Harlequin, Victim of a Song, with some crazy album design cover art. This one's got Sweet Things in Life, Survive, What's Your Name, Victim of a Song, You Are the Light, Who Knows What a Love Can Do, Shame, Shame, Turn Around, Barely Alive. So there's a few hits that some of you all might recognize. These are Canadian boys. They're had a big splash in the prairies here between Winnipeg and Saskatoon and Regina. It looks in excellent shape. I'm going to check the back side of it because I'm sure it's wonderful. Oh, now the sleeve is a little chowdered up, so a little bit of nastiness on the back side. Well, that's a winner. I'll listen to that. And then in the mix we have from Germany, Scorpions, Love at First Sting. So I don't know if you guys are ranking these, but I'm kind of, just from my musical tastes, I'm ranking them from least to greatest. This is a 1984 release with all the hits, Bad Boys, Running Wild. I'm not gonna run. You guys can look that up. A little bit of album art. Let's give it the inspection. Da, 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 da. Beautiful. Looks fantastic. Yeah, minor smudges. But that'll play nicely. That one plays. So what are we? We're lying 7 there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. 7 pretty darn decent ones. Okay, we got a pair from this next artist. And it's, well, let's start with this one. Todd Rundgren, Something. Anything? Something, anything. Is this a double album? Yeah, this is a double album. Something followed by anything. Was Todd Rundgren in some bands I might know? I don't know much about Todd or his career. Yeah, not terrible, but I'll clean up. Yeah, it's playable. I haven't come across any that are gouged up or nasty looking. These are more well kept. So another winner, a double winner, double bonus points. So again, I wasn't bidding for these albums. Any of these that I've shown you so far, these aren't the ones I was bidding for. It's followed by another Todd Rundgren's Zootopia, Another Live. Recorded live August 1975. So let's see what this live album looks like. Ooh, a little love note in here. Yeah, it's got all the credits. Nice. Yeah, again, not perfect, but not bad at all. I can live with that. I can live with that. So another winner. Todd produced at Beantown Records in Woodstock. Excellent album. Beantown. Is there actually a city or town that's nicknamed Beantown, or where'd that name come from? Beantown. It's a cool sounding name. All right. Beartown. Beantown or Beartown? Everybody's confused now, or at least I'm confused. And that is one sorry ass. It's just sitting there smoldering. Okay, we're down to the last 4. So I'm gonna stir up that fire, see if we can get a fire instead of just all this smoke. So talk amongst yourself. Autocorrect refers Beantown, right? Boston is Beantown. I knew that. I knew that. Beantown. Why do they call it Beantown? Beantown. Anybody? Anybody? Why Beantown? They grow beans there? Are they bean counters? What do you mean acting guilty? I thought I was guilty. How can I act guilty if I am guilty? Styx, Grand Illusion, number 8. We're down to the final 4. I like Styx. I like this album. When I saw the song list, this is a good album. It's not that one that I'd pick up in the record store, but I am pleased with this. This is fantastic. Yes, they're best. I mean, it's got The Grand Illusion, Fooling Yourself, Superstars, Come Sail Away, Miss America, Man in the Wilderness, Castle Walls, the grand finale. Absolute killer album. And it looks to be in very nice shape. Not pristine, but very nice. Again, I've yet to see anything with severe damage to make it unplayable or unlistenable. So that's a big win, big score there. Just uploaded a new song. All right, everybody. Features me in the background lambasting some pig-aids. Everybody go to What's the Matter You's sorry ass channel. Leave a comment on his piggy video. Were you doing a cop watch or what? Oh, well, pulling this out. I didn't even show you what it is. Leonard Skinner, give me back my bullets. So I saw this one. I'm like, hey, that's worth bidding on. But this too wasn't the albums I was bidding on. That's down to the final two. And this one in a plastic sleeve, so not much of an offering as far as the gatefolds or the album art. But very nice shape. Just a bunch of lint and stuff on there. Yeah, you just need a good cleaning. Most of these, I gotta invest in some good cleaning equipment, vinyl cleaning. Yeah, that album I bought last week from that one collector, the guy was liquidating his collection. I don't know if he was liquidating, but that Alice Cooper, Love It to Death. Like it was ultrasonically cleaned, like just immaculate condition. So that was Leonard Skinner. So come back next week and I'll reveal the final two. And so thanks for coming in. Like, share, and subscribe. No, I'm just kidding. We'll do the final two. Do I want to show you this? Are you ready? Are you ready to see the last two? So, what do we got here? So we got Frank Zappa, Mothers of Invention, Overnight Sensation. That's right. That's right. So this is my first actual Zappa album that I've owned. Possibly ever. I don't know if I ever had any Zappa albums. Well, let's just see how good or bad it is here. Zombie Wolf, Dynamo Hum, Montana, Camarillo Brillo, I'm the Slime, Dirty Love, and 50/50. That's the song list. And decent. Again, no damage, just light imperfections that can clean up half decently. So, score. And then this was the one that caught my eye. So you have to let me know if you're ready for number one. I'm not convinced you guys are ready. Pull the album out of the sleeve first. We can get to the vinyl reveal, but I'll give you a hint of what the vinyl is by showing you the cover, and it is Black Sabbath Sabotage. Classic from 1975. So I was a little worried. I could see in the picture that it had these wear lines, so I thought maybe these are all junk. If they've got that ring around the cover, maybe they weren't stored right or handled properly, but so far I have not been disappointed by any of the vinyl I've seen here. So let's have a look-see at this one. Dusty. And some light surface scratches. It's definitely playable, definitely listenable, but needs some TLC in the way of some cleaning. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go through this. Based on the vinyl, what I saw here, like I don't know, in mint condition, it's maybe worth 50 bucks. So I don't know what condition I'd rate this at if I were a dealer. or if you were buying this at a used record store. But they might offer me 20 bucks and sell it for 40. But we aren't selling that one. So its value is in the joy I am going to extract from listening to that album. So there you have it. 12. Can you buff those scratches out? I'm going to look at either getting somebody to clean them. Maybe I'll look that guy up. I bought that Alice Cooper album and see if he would clean my whole collection up. See what he'd charge, because he's got the equipment. He's good. I don't even know what an ultrasonic album cleaner looks like, or where you'd even buy one. So, all right, the sun is going behind the house, so let's sit in the shade instead of the sun burning holes in my eyeballs. I can't even see the camera anymore. All I see is spots. But yeah, I probably won't try to clean those myself, unless I invest in some equipment. And so, I don't know, maybe I'll do some research on that. It seems that classic record collecting has become my new latest hobby. So we're done with the hobby farming. I'm actually a likable guy. Well, considering it's coming from you, I don't know what to make of that. I'll accept that. So I'm actually a likable guy. Well, you're actually a likable subscriber. Hey? How about that? See, I can hand out compliments too. You're actually a likable subscriber and YouTube content creator, right? Anybody disagree with me? Okay, sorry. Get a bit of a perfectionist here. Got to be centered, so 2/3. Got to fill 2/3 of the screen and then leave 1/3. No homo though. Well, duh. See, the thing is, on YouTube, I try to be kind of unlikable. If you see me in chat rooms, I'm not looking for people to like me per se. All right, stir up the fire, and then take your guess at what I paid for those 12 albums. Put your best guesses in the chat. I just need some paper on this damn thing. $40? I wish I could have gone for 40. I didn't know. That would have been great. It was more than 40. Keep guessing. $40 American is about what I paid. So when you count in the exchange rate, it's considerably more. Well, I guess with the exchange it would be more like $50 American. So my total on that, well, okay, there were auction fees, $90. What's the matter, you? Nailed it. That's what I bid, is $90, and then with taxes and the auction fees, it came out to $105 Canadian. 105 Canadian pesos. I ran home with 12 albums, less than $10 each. And that's kind of my my guideline for buying old vinyl. If it's more than $10, I got to sit there and think about it. Like, it's not that I'm cheap, but it's sort of, unless it's really collectible. I'm not looking for super collectible stuff. But if it's $10, I expect a good piece of vinyl, not some scratched up piece of junk. And so based on what I saw, I would have paid $10 each for those. But I wouldn't have selected all those titles. But to average, to come out less than $10 per album, I think I did good. So, especially based on the shape. And I was expecting some carnage there, because you never know. But whatever this dude's name was. What's the guy's name? He wrote his name on all these records. Well, most of them. Some of them. He seemed to take good care of his collection, so see if he offers anything. It's a weekly auction. They have an auction house north of the city. They didn't have much this week, so I'm done looking at farm and homesteading equipment and tools. I gotta get rid of that stuff, but I got room for music. I got room to expand my collection because that doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's stuff that I probably won't part with. You know, I could either keep it in storage or drag it around with me. My collection's probably getting close to 100 vinyl albums and probably 100 CDs. And that's really just starting out this year, so finding some good bargains and good deals. Bought a few stinkers, but not off-grid, no. No, I don't know if you've caught glimpses of the house, but here, I'll swing around. It's this massive house, and it's just too impractical to try to do an off-grid setup. Like it's just not practical to set up solar panels and generators, and like it's a great house, it's a great property, but it's not conducive to doing that. And I wouldn't do that here because I mean I'm only a mile from town. The road is right there, like everybody can see what you're doing. It's for me an off-grid setup would be somewhere out in the bush where you're just doing the coyotes and the bears, and that's it. Maybe the wolves and the badgers. I considered doing more off-grid modifications. Like we did have a diesel backup generator at one time, but it wouldn't power the whole house. Like it's wired like a basic residential house you'd see in the suburbs. So gravity power, well, yeah. I was like, there is a little bit of drainage running through. Technically it's not a creek, it's like a dry creek bed. It flows in the spring, and I would have loved to have seen this project through. I wanted to get a proper pond out back. It's 5 acres here, and there's just a natural hollow that if you could expand that, it'd be a beautiful little pond for the wildlife, waterfowl. And then you kind of can set up a little dam because everything flows from the road to the back of the property. You could set up one of those jet pumps that just work off of gravity. Is it called a jet pump? But it's basically made with just pipes and valves you get at the plumbing store, and it'll pump water back uphill. And then you could get a little hydroelectric, micro hydro electric setup and spin a turbine, and I could probably generate enough power to do a live stream. Keep my battery going on my cell phone, on the iPhone here. But this property is not for that. It was for raising livestock. So I've got my well right over here, and so I've got all the conveniences of living in the city. It's just country living, and yeah, thank God I'm a country boy. But yeah, the off-grid property, see, I'm getting the age now, I don't have the energy to start up something from nothing. So I'd want like a turnkey, let somebody else build it and I'll buy their property if I had money. But yeah, that would be the ultimate, to be self-sustaining on the power side of things, where you don't have to rely on the electricity, or we've got natural gas heating our hot water tank and boiler system. There's in-floor heating that runs off the boiler. I do have a wood stove for heating, so if for whatever reason there was no electricity, there was no natural gas, I could still boil water, could still cook on it. It's not a cook stove, but I can cook on that surface and stick a pan on there, or a pot, kettle. I'd still have my coffee. I could still make my coffee. There's a little bit of propane appliances. I got a propane, it's like a camp style burner. There's propane grills here for grilling steaks and barbecue, barbecue burgers and that kind of stuff. I've fashioned a smoker out of a 45-gallon drum, run off of an old wood stove that's way past its prime. So I've done smoked sausages and my own bacon and smoked pork chops and that kind of stuff. I think with drone technology, that axe is hanging over everybody. I, I'm not trying to get away from the eyeballs that are trying to take away my privacy. I just want to do what I want to do. And what I've said about this property is I'm hidden in plain sight. My neighbors are great. They don't complain. Like, I had, not to incriminate myself, but do not line your house with luxury. Yeah. Well, everything we put in here was essentially what we bought with the place. Like, I didn't make upgrades other than the wood stove, and that was kind of for practical reasons. So it does save me money because we have a wood lot here. I would just, usually in the spring is the best time, is cut down all the dead wood and pile it up, let it season, and the dead wood, it doesn't take long. It's not like green wood that takes a year, and it's all poplar for the most part. So there's not a lot of heat that you get out of poplar wood. You might call it aspen. And but as far as like what we were doing with livestock, like based on zoning laws, you're limited to the amount of animal units you're allowed to have. And I think we were pushing the envelope of what we ought to be doing with 5 acres. But really, as long as your neighbors aren't complaining about the smell and the noise and whatever, but everybody here has got animals. You know, my neighbors got chickens and roosters, and these guys had a horse, and neighbors down there have animals, sheep, and a couple of horses, and turkeys, and everything. So I wasn't doing anything. Coca. Send me some seed, man. Well, it's too late. Like, I mean, the place is sold. I'm not gonna get a crop in this year. But I have my feeling that's we're not in the right zone to be doing that kind of gardening. Who knows? I can't say because I haven't tried. But how about you? Have you been growing that down there? So yeah, it's sort of, you can get away with what your neighbors are willing to tolerate. So the operation of everything I was doing was kind of hidden from plain sight of the road. It's difficult, but he's done it. Well, hats off to you. What's the matter, you? There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't need to peek my hat shading my eyes anymore, so let's let my skull breathe a bit here. Cool down a bit. That cap was getting a little hot. Oh, is that a sorry ass fire? Ain't cooking nothing on that. Easy as pie. I don't know what somniferums are. You're going to have to coca, extremely difficult. What is somniferum? I'm a noob here. I'm an idiot when it comes to that species, or what is that? There was mushrooms here, all kinds of mushrooms. I'm not a, I'm not particular to poppies. Oh yeah, we grow poppies up here. That's easy peasy. I think I tried putting some seed in, but I wasn't tending to it properly, and they never came up, and I never got back around to trying it again. So, but poppy seed, that's kind of that's something my grandparents would have grown. Poppy seed in their baking, poppy seed sweet buns, and poppy seed dumplings, or they made all kinds of crazy stuff with poppies. All kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah. Mushrooms, not too hard. It's evolved. Yeah, mushrooms would be an interesting project. Just from a cuisine standpoint, I'm not a big fan of eating mushrooms. I know there are different varieties that have certain medicinal effects. They're apparently very healthy, good source of vitamin D, from what I understand. Milking the darn things efficiently. Yeah, that side of things, I've never explored that. Like I say, I made a half-hearted attempt to grow the poppies, but one failed attempt, and I never got back around to my second attempt. But yeah, is there some kind of press you could use? I don't know. Smash them up, mash them up. I don't know what kind of quantities you need for what you're thinking about there. I wish I could grow coffee up here. That would be amazing. Giganthemums, hens and chicks, Persian princess. I had hens and chicks going like, not gangbusters, but I had hens and chicks at one time, but I think they all got yanked out. There's lots of mint here, those tall, crazy looking things that grow straight up. That's mullein, very good for respiratory ailments and things like that. Decongestant. Got to grow poppies in decompression chamber to get them to produce at our altitude. I wouldn't, unless there was a shortage of morphine at Wartburg. At your altitude, so you're way up in the you're mountain man. Milk them, dry the stuff on the plant, and harvest while still green. Well, we'll have to tune in to What's the Matter You as he does his online seminar of milking poppies. I know how to milk cows. I don't know how to milk poppies. But yeah, living out here, as I said a few minutes ago, it's hidden in plain sight. Like, nobody that's going to hassle me really drives by. Unless I start drawing attention to myself, I pretty much did exactly what I wanted to do here. And it didn't have to be off grid. Like, my neighbors are right there. They're right there. Well, I mean, it's all 5-acre properties around me. And then the guy behind me has 20 acres. So nothing I could do would bother him other than when my dog was running around loose and his dog was in heat. Then he was getting on the phone. But for the most part, it's location, location, location. So being off grid would have been just extra labor for me here, setting it all up. Sort of, I'll live with the conveniences as long as I could do what I want to do, and that's pretty much it. There was no need to take that measure of going fully off grid, unless I wanted the security of not having to pay an electric bill and a hydro bill, because the bills can be substantial. but we purchased at a reasonable price, and the mortgage rates were really low when we locked in for 5 years. The same payments, or the same mortgage, if we were to renew in a year or two. I think our the interest rates have gone up significantly. So our $1,300 a month mortgage payment would have jumped probably closer to $2,000 a month just for the mortgage, and then the tax are pretty cheap around here. It's like $2,400 a month or a year, $2,400 a year, something like that. The insurance was about the same, around $2,000 a year. Took years of pre-internet. Yeah, now with the internet, we can us do-it-yourself DIY type guys. You just Google it or YouTube it, and somebody's done it before you, and they go through painstaking detail how to get it done right. And that's what I love about this platform. You know, sharing knowledge, having a few laughs, having a few sips of the Slurpee that's completely melted now. Again, a little bit of tickle in my throat. There, that's better. So yeah, it's gonna look different, I guess, in another month for me. I'm gonna miss this place, but yeah, getting back to your original premise, going off-grid or putting in all those off-grid features, that would have been a lot of work, and I was concentrating on doing the things with that I wanted to do with animals. You know, having fresh eggs, having sheep for meat. You know, I just love lamb. The cows for milk. Having the you know, just whenever the freezer starts getting a little low, get out the 22 and fill it back up again. Cut that boy up and wrap them up, freeze them, eat them. We did meat chickens here, not for quite some time. That was a lot of work. We did rabbits. Rabbits were a lot of work. $12,000 per year for $900,000 home. Yeah, you're in a whole different league, man. We originally bought this place for $330, and 7 years later, I'm selling it for $390. So, well, whatever. It is what it is. Natural chickens are a different thing. Well, my egg-laying hens, like my chickens, are all free roaming here. Not free ranging, free roaming. They would sleep in my bed if they could figure out a way to get in the house. They just go everywhere. So they're eating the bugs, they're eating grass, they're eating potato beetles out of the garden. I really don't feed my laying chickens here at all. They just forage. They clean up after the pig. They used to clean up after the cows, because the cow, I'd give the cow at milking time like some whole grains, some whole barley, whole oats, and that was like a treat to get the cow to come stand still during milking. So just a little pail of whole grains, and so she'd poop that out, and a lot of those grains, they wouldn't get chewed up and digested. So the chickens, they would scratch through that manure, pick out the seeds, and spread the rest of that manure around. So they're helping compost what comes out of the back end of these animals, these ruminants. Likewise with the sheep, as a treat, they would get a little bit of whole grains, especially in the winter, just for a little bit of extra energy. and the chickens would go behind and clean up. They clean up all the trash. Rabbit manure can go directly in your garden. Uh, yeah, chicken manure is high in nitrogen, ammonia. It's very hot, as they say, so it could burn your crops. But sheep manure is very gentle as well, just like rabbit manure. Doesn't need much seasoning at all. Time to compost. I've got a decent pile of cow manure after I scrape out the barnyard and the barn. So the next owner, they're gonna have some nice ruminant is like cows, deer, sheep, the animals with four stomachs, four stomach chambers that chew their cud. So those are the grazing animals. You know, the cow, deer, sheep, they typically forage on grasses, and they eat the grass seeds and whatnot. So you don't want to get them strictly on a diet of grains, because that's not what their system is designed for. They need the grass. That's what keeps their gut healthy. And while we're on the topic, I mean, I've been working in various industries within the ag industry. I've seen, you know, how factory pig farms work, how dairy farms work, and they're feeding those animals like a specialized diet to live in an artificial environment to get as much weight on as quickly and efficiently as possible at the lowest cost. So they're eating a lot of canola, soy, corn, which is all GMO. And at the dairy, you know, they're feeding a lot of corn, a lot of alfalfa. There's a mix of some hay in there, some grass. But yeah, my animals were all naturally raised uh, in the sense that they had free pasture. They had some supplemental feed given to them. They weren't just given a commercial diet of, you know, what I could get at the feed store. Whatever I would get that was commercially produced, I would mix in some whole grains just so they get the extra fiber and not just corn and soy, which is, you know, meant to give them energy and protein. And so my cows got very little alfalfa, which can upset their stomachs, but it's good for milk production, right? Same with corn, very good for milk production. The pigs, they were given, you know, the proper diet, but they'll eat all kinds of garden scraps and food scraps. The chickens, like I say, they clean up everything. So not quite a holistic approach, but it was Joel Salatin, again, referring back to Standing on the Shoulders of Giants playlist. Joel Salatin was one of the early YouTubers that inspired me to take on this lifestyle. Just an integrated way of farming that is very scalable. Because nowadays, if you want to have a dairy, I don't know what it's like in the States, but we have this quota system here. It's central planning. It's basically a communist system where the government ensures a price of milk to the farmers, but the farmer has to buy a quota per head. And it's like $12,000 per animal per year. It's some ridiculous amount. So you're not starting a dairy unless you got tens of millions of dollars, because that's not even including the infrastructure you need, the barns, the milking machines, like all that, the track, like the land. It's crazy. But here, you know, we just did everything basically with our labor and on a shoestring budget, keeping these animals alive. And the animals know what to do. As long as you're keeping them healthy, they'll do what they got to do. And so yeah, everybody plays a role on the farm. Nobody gets a free ride. All the animals do work. The pigs, they were clearing out all the underbrush, expanding my garden beds. They root up, they till up all the nasty stuff. and turned basically scrub land into land that I could cultivate and plant my vegetables in. So my garden quadrupled in size just from the time we moved into the area I cleared just using basically piggy power. Uh, Probably illegal there too to drink non-pasteurized. Probably, I don't know. I know you can't sell it. I don't know about drinking. I mean, that was the whole motivation to get a cow, was that raw milk. Oh, it hands down beats anything you would drink out of a cardboard box out of the store. I don't know, you get them out of plastic jugs now. I don't buy milk from the store. So. Tuberculosis is a milk-borne disease. Well, from healthy animals, like, here's the thing. You buy your milk, like every barn, every dairy is tested. And as long as it falls under the threshold for what's considered quality milk, and it's based on a couple of different pathogens that they don't want in the food supply, that milk gets shipped to the what do you call it? Not the creamery, the cheese plants, the milk plants, the processing plants, where it gets pasteurized, and they kill all the baddies out there. So if there's E. coli in it, that get eliminated through the pasteurization process. But what's the thing? It's when they develop mastitis. That's the big one. If your cows have mastitis, then you shouldn't be selling the milk, or you shouldn't be putting the milk in the food supply. Typically, they would feed that milk back to the calves. It wouldn't affect the calves. But you don't want mastitis in the food supply. So there was a count of how many, I forget what it's called. BCS count or BSS or CSS count. It's been a while. Tuberculosis, yeah, I haven't heard of tuberculosis outbreaks in this area. And there's a lot of dairies out here. There's a lot of factory pig farms, a lot of factory chicken barns. Not a lot of sheep farms left, other than the backyarders like me. But yeah, that pasteurized, homogenized milk, it's just no appeal. It's not breast cancer, it's an inflammation of the mammaries. And so, it could be fatal to the cow if it's not treated. But if you've got milk from one barn that's not top notch, well, that all goes in the same tanker truck. And so what arrives in the grocery store is milk from who knows how many different barns that's been processed all together. So you got good dairies and bad dairies, good farmers and bad farmers. And so the health of the animals reflects the quality of the product. And it all goes into the food system as long as it falls below that minimum threshold. So there's lots to be said about farm economics and farm practices. And I've had mastitis in my cows. Like when they're stressed, that could cause not an outbreak, but it causes like this, thick mucousy buildup in the udder, and it's really an inflammation. Typically happen like during cold weather, because I don't have heat in my barn. And so if the animal was feeling stressed, it would be reflected. But you just milk that out until that mucousy, lumpy stuff, uh, you'd milk it into a separate jug, and then milk, or you'd milk the healthy teats. Typically it would affect one teat. And a cow has four. There's four quadrants on the udder, and so there's a front and a rear, and there's a teat, and you would milk 2 at a time. And I would get sometimes at their peak like 2 gallons a day. And sometimes if the animal's stressed, in my experience, it wouldn't be from infection. They wouldn't be catching it from other cows. It would just be a physiological response. It wasn't from their diet, because there was no other animals here to get sick from. And you just milk it out until that clears up. And so usually it'd be 3 or 4 or 5 days, and it would just clear up on its own. I wouldn't treat with antibiotics. I wouldn't treat with any medications. Just by practice of it, the animal's immune system knows what to do. You just have to, as the farmer, know what to be doing for the animal. But at the commercial level, you know, in the ag industry, a sick animal, you got to treat that animal. And so a lot of the medications they use, they put the animal on the medication, and then there's a lag time. You couldn't milk that animal for 21 days after coming off the medication. So that animal's out of production for however long it takes to treat the mastitis, plus add a week or 2 or 3 before they could stop working again, or, you know, milking again and putting their milk into the supply. A lot of times the dairies, if they got mastitis, they just ship that cow to the auction, and that cow would get butchered. Don't mime that way. I'll mime however I see fit, but didn't know you were that squeamish. Like I said, I'm here to be a little disturbing. So yeah, spitting some truth about the industry. It's not all bad. Like, we can't eliminate that system. If we forced everybody to go return to traditional methods, most people would starve. Like, we can't get rid of GMO crops because there's no alternative. You can't go back to heirloom varieties of corn and whatnot, because those drought-resistant crops and all that, as bad as they are, people rely on that to eat. So if you're not raising your own food, that was my motivation, is to raise my own food. So I know what I'm sticking in my mouth hole. That I have confidence in it, that it's the best food for me. But yeah, I'm not for banning GMOs. I say let that system do what it wants. What I'm for is choice. Let people choose what they want. So GMOs shouldn't be forced on people. There should be alternatives. They should be allowed to choose fresh, unpasteurized, unhomogenized milk without threat of fines or imprisonment or confiscating your animals, shutting down your operation. So it's the system in place. It does serve a good deal of the population, but people that want to do things outside of that commercial system or that industrial system, there's no room for them. And that I think is ethically and morally wrong. So that's why I was doing what I did, and just mind my own business, stay under everybody's radar, and it can be done. And so it's when you start drawing attention to yourself and start making noise, and that's when they come knocking and seeing what you're doing. But nobody's ever come here and asked me why I have that many cows or that many sheep, or you know your pigs are making all the other pig farmers around here nervous because of porcine, enteric, what is it called? PED, porcine enteric dysentery or something. It's basically piggy diarrhea. When they get this PED, they shut down barns. They'll almost shut down the whole industry if there's an outbreak of PED. Because what happens is the older pigs don't get infected, but the piglets are prone to getting like this explosive diarrhea, and their systems can't handle it, and so they just die of dehydration. So freedom is a scam. Freedom is a myth. There's no such thing. Anyways, laptop is is complaining again. Almost no battery power there. And yeah, our sunlight is fading, and I got stuff to do. So we'll pick this up on the next one, whenever that may be. Maybe as early as tomorrow. Oh, is that the FBI? Could be the FBI plane. Yeah, when I have more stuff to talk about, or more stuff to wrench on, or more updates, or something that resembles a show about nothing, I'll hop back on and give you guys the heads up and watch your notifications. Thank you all for coming for this exclusive YouTube premiere of the rock and roll wrenching filthy farmer, and drinking some Slurpees, and see you laters.